On the phone right now, the co-host of Tavern Talk Radio, Derek Anders. Derek, how are you tonight?
I'm doing well, Jason. How are you?
I'm doing great. Go right ahead, please.
You know, everybody who listens to Tavern Talk knows I am a Democrat. And that's what makes Mike and I show unique is for most things we agree on. Some things we disagree on. And I might disagree with you just a little bit on the whole Christie issue. I like Christie. As a Democrat, saying that I didn't vote for Obama in 12, of course. So that would just be insanity, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I like Christie in 12. You know, we had a show a couple weeks ago where my dream ticket was Chris Christie and Condoleezza Rice. That would be my dream ticket. Christie and Condoleezza would be my absolute dream ticket. And the only reason why is that what I saw in 2012 is where those who were more conservative stayed home because they hated Obama and Mitt Romney. But then I kind of got angry at that because the reason we have Obama today is because we had folks stay home. We had Republicans stay home because they didn't like either candidate.
Well, I was behind radio the whole time saying get out and vote for Mitt Romney because it was the lesser of two evils. But let me just say this. My problem with Chris Christie is that he surrounds himself with this mentality that you have to reach across the aisles and compromise. And I'm not for that at all. I think that is complete bullcrap. Personally.
I mean, is that not what... I mean, we had the government shutdown back with Newt and Clinton, and they both had to reach across the aisle to get things done. I think if Newt and Clinton were in the both back in where their respective positions were, we wouldn't have had such a disagreement. The parties are just so split. I wish Democrats and Republicans could come together. And where I am as a Democrat, I love fiscal conservatism. I've always been a big proponent of that.
Okay.
Fiscal conservatism wins elections. What's killing us today in 2012 to the year 2012-2013 is social conservatism is killing us in the mainstream.
So, I think I see where you're going with this. Is your view that we need a candidate in 2016 who kind of eases back on the whole social conservatism ideology?
In a sense, yes. You know, Christie doesn't 100% agree with gay marriage, and neither do I. As a Catholic, I don't believe it has any place in the Catholic Church, nor any church that disagrees with gay marriage. Mm-hmm. You know, but then again, do I think we should have what Republicans have come a long way with is drafting a bill of federal civil unions of some sort, you know, just to say, yes, we disagree with the fact that, yes, a marriage is between a man and a woman. We're not going to give you a marriage because you're not a man and not a woman. We believe man and woman, that definition of marriage is a sacrament that comes from God. And we're not going to give you that. We'll give you equal rights because as those who believe in the Constitution, believe in all people are equal to rights. We're not going to give you a marriage because that's not what we're talking about.
All right, but same-sex...
As we give them civil unions, we can compromise.
But same-sex marriage is only one of the social issues, though. I mean, what other social issues would you be in favor of conservatives kind of getting away from a little bit?
There's got to be a way to still secure our borders, yet still have a better immigration policy for Latin Americans coming across the border. We've got to figure something. I don't have all the answers.
So why don't we just make it easier for them to come here instead of just granting them amnesty?
You know what though? You know, we had a great plan. Let's fine. If we're going to give amnesty, we better close down the border ASAP. I 100% agree. We need to figure out something legal. There are some folks in here. I work with a gentleman now who legally immigrated into the United States, and he's one of the hardest workers at the bar I worked at. He's a service assistant, and he's a phenomenal worker. Okay. And he's got family who are phenomenal workers. And I think the stereotype is lazy, steal jobs, this and that. You know, I like this guy, and he did it legally. Now, if we can encourage those to do it legally, I'd say get rid of those who are illegal. But let's give them an opportunity to become legal. And at that point, they don't. You know, let's say today, you and I, Jason, we came with an agreement, and we said, you know what, starting today, you have 1 month to become legal citizens. You have to have all your paperwork, all your ducks in a row. And by December 4th, if you do not do your paperwork, if you're too damn lazy to get down to whatever office, wherever we do it through, whether it's the DMV, immigration, family services, or whatever it may be, we then say to you, if you're too lazy to do that, you're gone. See you later. And while we're doing this, by the way, over the next month, some of our soldiers that are coming back home, we're going to still give them jobs and give them something to do. We're going to put them down on the border and secure our borders. We got to figure out something where we can meet in the middle and win this election. But if not, conservatives are not going to be able to win an election in 2016.
But Derek, how does it make sense to beat the left by moving to the left? I mean, you don't win. It's getting to come a little bit our way as well. Getting to come our way a little bit as well. We got to do something. I agree we got to do something, but what I think we got to do is reinstate our policies and not say, oh, well, we'll give you a little bit of this, we'll ease up on abortion and some of these social issues here. I think we need a full-out effort right now, and this is what I've been trying to do every Monday and Thursday night on radio for over a year now, is reinstate conservative principles, not give them up, not kind of compromise them, but say, look, these are what we believe in, this is what we believe in, this is why they work, this is why you should vote for conservative candidates. That way we don't get any more numbskulls in office like Chris Christie and John McCain and these other idiots going up against for president in 2016 or any of the years after that. This needs to end.
It does need to end. It does need to end. And I agree with you, Jason, but where we got, they're not budging either. So if we can coach them 5 feet, and if we can come 5 feet, then it's both parties giving up a little bit of something for the greater good, the overall compromise of everyone. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying I hate abortion as a Catholic. I'm 100% against abortion, and those are one of the issues that I don't want to budge on. But there's certain other things like possibly civil unions and immigration that I'm willing to somewhat budge on. I'm not willing to make same-sex marriages legal. I'm not willing to grant 100% amnesty whenever you want to come across this border, whenever you want. I'm not for that. But I'm for moving a little bit to get a little bit, because they're saying, screw the conservatives, we're not going to budge either. But someone's got to say, you know what, we'll budge if you budge. Someone's got to give a little bit of something, or else we're all going to be, just bitter fight. I'm just so tired of all the fighting constantly.
I am too, Derek. But what if we budge and they don't budge? How do you? Let me ask you this: when's the last time you saw a Democrat give up some of their policies, give up some of their values in order to compromise with the right wing? You never see them do it, especially in this administration. They don't do it. They stick to their principles. That is one thing.
We have not seen it since. Oh wait, we have not seen it since Obama. The divider in chief. We have not seen it since him, and he's one of the biggest culprits of the reason why we can't get along. I 100% agree to that, Jason. But should we get somebody in there who can get along with both sides? I'm not sure. I hope Ted Cruz cannot be. Are the liberals going to then call us, and if Ted Cruz gets elected and become president, is he going to be the divider in chief in their eye? You know what I mean? Does that make sense? And on his own, so we get him, but we lose House and Senate. What do we do? We're going to be dead in the water anyhow. It's going to be them passing laws, him vetoing it, him trying to get something, Congress not approving it. We've got to be able to figure out how we can win this battle.
But Derek, I already told you how we should win this battle, and it's going to be tough, don't get me wrong, but the way we do it is by reinstating conservatism.
And I agree. I agree in Reaganomics 100%.
But I'm not just talking about Reaganomics. I'm talking about social issues as well. Instead of giving them up, we reinstate them, say this is why they work. We're not going to just look. I don't believe in compromising your values to just get elected. I don't believe in that. I believe sticking by principle, and not just fiscally, but socially as well. whether it's abortion, whether it's same-sex marriage, because the reason is twofold, basically. Number one, it's against my morals to go against my principles in order to just get elected and to get power. And number two is that if we compromise or reach across the aisle a little bit or go 5 feet, as you said, what the problem is, the left, they're not going to come 5 feet. And so what's going to happen over time is that the Republicans are going to be inching closer and closer to the left, saying, please, let's get elected here. We'll go another 5 feet, another 5 feet. And the left, they're not going to move a damn foot. Unfortunately, Derek...
Well, that's what's happening now. That's exactly what's happening. What you described is what's happening now.
Right. And so it's not working.
Well, before even in the 2012 election, we had a chance to garner some Hispanic vote by doing something, by not maybe passing an amnesty bill, but passing some type of immigration bill. The House had something to present. At that point, we had something. We could have done something right then and there. Then Romney could have latched onto and said, with my Republican brothers in the House, we can do something.
Actually,
we had a great opportunity there.
Republican candidates since Reagan, really, have all... most of them have actually talked about trying to get the Latino vote and by talking about amnesty and everything. And every single presidential candidate, the Republican lost a huge majority of the Latino vote, which kind of makes me think that, going across the aisle when it comes to getting the Latino vote really doesn't work no matter what you do if you're a Republican candidate. So we need to look at other options when it comes to that particular issue.
But you have to think about Latinos and all over, they agree with conservatism in the sense that, one of the highest growing populations of Catholicism in this country is through Latinos. And there's no more pro-life and pro-sanctity of marriage sect, I think, than the Catholics right now. They're huge in that. That's one of the biggest things that makes Catholics is our huge stance on pro-life. At least at my university, that was one of the biggest things at the Catholic University we had was pro-life and pro-sacrament of marriage. And we had a lot of Latinos agree with that.
Okay. So as long as we stick to pro-life principles, then we should get Latino votes, according to you, correct?
According to me, but you have to understand, they also want to be able to figure out how to make themselves legal in this country as well. They're still attending church and may be working illegally, but they're not going down, they're not exactly quote-unquote legal citizens. I live in Ohio, as you may know, or some folks may know, and I live just a couple towns over from a very rural community in which many immigrant workers work to pick the vegetables in the area. Hard-working people, and they, I don't know how many are legal or illegal. I never asked for the green cards, but I'll tell you what, they pack up their vans, not only to go to work, but they pack up their vans and their buses and everything. They'll go to church on Sunday, and that Catholic church is full of these great Latinos that are working in our local community.
Right.
And so it makes me think, how do we get those folks then who are so big on these other issues, on some social issues, such as abortion, such as pro-life, and things like that. How do we get them then to go over to the Republican side? Because they watch the news, and all the news says is Republicans hate immigration. How do we get that message out there that we don't hate immigration?
We don't hate
Correct.
Immigration.
How do we change that? How do we fix that?
We keep fighting and reinstating our principles.
Well,
exposing the lies. And exposing the lies. I know we have Fox News, but unfortunately...
And we have Junior Factor Nation.
Absolutely
we do. Amen. Things, but they kill us. But what the left is so great at, what the left is so phenomenal at, is killing us. MSNBC, CNN, many, many other things. They just... Social media, they're killing us. How do we fix that, Jason? How do we fix it?
Derek, honestly, I have no other solution other than to continue exposing the lies, continue to speak up about it, and get the word out there the best way we possibly can. Fox News is a great outlet. Talk radio is another great outlet. They definitely, when it comes to the media, Derek, they do have the majority. I'm not going to lie. And they do lie constantly, and it's a big problem. As to how we fix it, I would rather just work hard and put in the effort to expose these lies rather than to just simply say, well, no, you're right, we're just going to kind of give up a little bit of this value here and just try to get the votes. I'm not about that. I'm all for putting in the effort to turn things around here, exposing the lies in the media. Derek, unfortunately, we got to run. It was a great conversation. I really appreciate you calling in.
I had to call in and play a little devil's advocate for you, and I wanted to get you fired up. So
no problem.
You enjoy the rest of your show. I'm sorry I can't make it for the show afterwards, but you have a great night.
All right, Derek. Nice talking to you.
Factor Talk Radio.